Did Ronald Reagan support apartheid? Have you ever wondered about Ronald Reagan's stance on apartheid in South Africa? This topic often sparks debate and confusion. Let's break it down and see what Reagan's policies really meant for South Africa during his presidency. Ronald Reagan's approach to apartheid was complex. While he did not openly support the system of apartheid, many viewed his policies as favoring the South African government that enforced it. His administration adopted a strategy called constructive engagement. This meant maintaining diplomatic and economic relations with South Africa instead of imposing strict sanctions. Reagan believed that engagement would encourage gradual reform and help avoid escalating violence in the region. Reagan was against sweeping economic sanctions. He argued that such measures would harm South Africa's economy and negatively impact the black majority they aimed to help. In fact, he vetoed the Comprehensive Anti-Apartheid Act of 1986. This act aimed to impose sanctions and pressure the South African government to end apartheid. Reagan described the bill as economic warfare, believing it would lead to more violence and repression rather than peaceful change. Despite his veto, Congress overrode it, and sanctions were imposed anyway. The Reagan administration also viewed the African National Congress, the main anti-apartheid group, with suspicion. Reagan labeled the African National Congress as a terrorist organization due to its connections with communist groups. This perspective was influenced by the Cold War and concerns about Soviet influence in Africa. Critics argue that this stance indirectly supported the apartheid regime by opposing the African National Congress and sanctions. From a Republican viewpoint, Reagan's policy was a pragmatic approach to foreign relations during the Cold War. His administration aimed to balance opposition to communism while cautiously engaging with South Africa, a key regional ally. Reagan believed in diplomacy and economic influence over punitive measures, which shaped his policies. As a result of Reagan's approach, U.S. businesses continued operations in South Africa, and diplomatic efforts focused on encouraging reform without direct confrontation. While many anti-apartheid activists and international critics condemned this approach, supporters argued it reflected a careful consideration of the geopolitical realities of the time. In summary, Ronald Reagan did not explicitly support apartheid as a moral or political ideal. However, his administration's policies effectively maintained support for the South African government enforcing apartheid by opposing sanctions and viewing liberation movements with skepticism. His stance was shaped by Cold War dynamics and a belief in constructive engagement as the best path to eventual change.